Stampers, this is Jackie Ross, your Stampin' Up demonstrator from Plano, Texas. And I've been teaching people how to stamp since 2000. So I love teaching. I teach classes in my home, and I've just recently started a blog and doing some YouTube videos. Today I'm going to show you how to use the sliding barn door. This set of framelits and stamps, look at this. I actually used the little piggy. This is so darn cool, but there are a few tips and tricks to making this card. So I'm going to share those with you today. So stay tuned. Thanks. Hey Stampers, this is Jackie Ross, your Stampin' Up demonstrator from Plano, Texas. And I am going to show you some great tips and tricks to using the new sliding barn door framelits and stamp set. Look how cool this is. So the door goes from one side. Barn doors are so on trend, especially if you're like me, a fan of Fixer Upper and Magnolia. So this slides to reveal your message. So there are some tips and tricks. I just wanted to kind of go over that. So this is the card we're going to make. So I'm just going to put this over here for now. This is the supplies you're going to need: the barn door framelits, and a trick with the barn door framelits is to actually put the really small framelits onto one of these tabs. These are post-it note tabs, and I learned this trick from a fellow demonstrator, Dawn Griffith. So when you take this, I have it for the handle and for the hinge things, or whatever they're called. So you would take your cardstock, you place it down on there and run it through your Big Shot. But what it does, it stops you from losing this. Of course, the Big Shot's just going to run through it, and then you can still cut your pieces out. So I thought that was a really good trick and tip for your smaller pieces of framelits. So this is the barn door stamps, and today we're going to use this little piggy stamp set as well. The other thing you're going to need is the stripes embossing folder. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to move all of these out of the way for now. I'm going to put this up here and put our card here so you can see what we're going to do. So we're going to start off with a piece of soft sky cardstock, which is 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. Next, we need our piece of cardstock for the layer. So this is 5 1/4 by 4 inches, and I actually cut this out with this framelit. So this kind of looks weird. So this is how I positioned it on here. I want to point out that when you put it on, you want to put it in the middle and then scooch it down a little bit, because you need room here at the top to place your barn door, you know, the piece across the top here that gives you the illusion of the sliding door. This one here is too low. This is too low because you won't have room to put your foam strip, and that will make sense later on when in the video as we go through. So we have this part. This is done. I know you all have the Big Shot, so I don't need to show you how that goes through. So that would be the next step. Then once you've cut that through, you're going to take your embossing folder and you're going to place this piece inside the embossing folder. And you want to line up, you want to have it this way with the wider part at the top, and run it through your Big Shot. Line up one of the stripes with, I don't know if you can see this here, with one of the stripes across the top here. That way it leaves you a smooth piece of smooth surface here to attach your skinny black strip. So once that's run through, you then are going to cut on your Big Shot. You are going to cut your piece for the top, your two doors, your door hinge things, and your handle out of the black cardstock. So next, what we want to do is we are going to, we need our washers. These are a size number 6 washer. And let me get those pieces here. It'll be easier for you to see on here. So I need to show you how to, you need 8 in total. And I have actually put some of these together ahead of time so you didn't have to watch me do all 4. So with your washers, you are going to take your mini dimensionals, and I just highlight my mini so that when I have them in the drawer, I can at a glance see them. These were a great addition to the catalog this year. So you're just going to take a mini dimensional and place it on one of the washers, and then peel off the back and place the other one on top. So you're making a sandwich. Oh, can't seem to do it today. Oh, everything's sticking together. Okay, so you're going to do that. Then you're going to take your glue dots, find the end where there's a glue dot, and add a glue dot to the top of each of those washers. This is so that we can add the door. Okay, 1, 2, 3, last one. And I do find using the pricker, the paper piercer, to attach, to stick these down, makes it a little easier. So then the next thing we're going to do is our door. So I already stamped the door. I'm going to kind of push this to the side. I already stamped the door and attached these pieces, one of the hinges and that. And I just wanted to show you a tip, and again to be careful. You're going to use the fine tip glue pen. You're going to unscrew this. Remember, keep the top handy, because as soon as once you've used it, you need to put the lid straight back on. The key with this is don't squeeze. If you squeeze it once it's upside down, it's going to blob. So you're just going to hold it upside down, and just, you have to be a little bit patient, but the glue will come down. And then to put the lid back on, if you push your finger like this and line up that little needle that's in the lid. Oh, I guess I should have put my glasses on for this. You're just going to line that up in there, push it down, and that will keep it closed and unclogged. And you can go back and take this piece and place this on your door. And you can see I'm using a silicone mat, so therefore if there's any excess glue, it's not going to mess up the surface that you're on. So next, what we're going to do is we are going to place these little washers in the tracks. So we're going to put one here. We're going to put one on each end, and you can see how it will just kind of fit in. And then this comes in here. Sometimes you need to move it to the inside a little bit and then push it back into the corners. So remember, we've got the glue dots on here. So to begin with, you want to put all of these as far out to the edge as you can. So then we're going to take the door, and on the left-hand side, you want to cover the washer. Oh, you know what we haven't done? I need to turn it around, because this is my top. Oops, had it upside down. And we need to take our black strip. Forgot that. Okay. So we're going to just put a couple of dots all the way along here. Again, I'm not squeezing this bottle. I am just turning it upside down, and the glue will come down. If you squeeze, believe me, you will get a blob. And that kind of defeats the purpose, because the whole point of having the fine tip glue pen is so that you can have... Oh, really should have put my glasses on. Okay, so let's close that up so it's good for next time. And then we're going to take this strip, and it's going to go across the top here. Because do you remember when we did this, we put the embossing, the striped embossing folder, when we embossed this piece of cardstock, we did it so that we would have a flat piece here to put that onto. So now we can go back to where we were before a minute ago and attach the door. So the door, we're going to push these over here. We're going to push these right to the edge and then cover. So the sliding door mechanism is so clever because it gives you the illusion that the door is actually attached to this, but it isn't. And then we're going to slide, then we're going to pull these back, covering the washers, and attach. So now you can see we've got our sliding mechanism. Now we're going to turn it over, because for these to be able to slide when we attach them to the card, I don't know if you can see here, you need to have it raised. See, I don't know if you can see down in here. You need to have it raised so you have room for the washer to run backwards and forwards. So for that, we're going to use the foam strips. So we're going to take one strip, take the, pick the whole thing up, and put it along the top. Again, you want to make sure that it does not touch the washers, because we want the washers to be able to run freely backwards and forwards. And then the bit you have left over, you're going to place underneath, again making sure not to touch the washers. Now I have actually made, now we need to do the bottom one. I've actually made put together a photo tutorial for this. So if you go to my blog, JackieRossStamps.com, you can print it, and that way you'll have that way you haven't got to keep pausing and doing the video if you wanted a hard copy. So then we're just going to take off the sticky off the back of all of this. As I say, this is just a fun technique. I love moving cards. It's always such a wow when somebody gets a card from that. I mean, you know, it's always fun when you send somebody a card and the first thing they do is call you to say thank you for the card, especially when it's the thank you for something they did for you as a thank you. Okay, so then we're going to place this onto our card. And one of my tips would be is, why not choose a selection of cardstocks and bases, make the base, make a few doors and put this, then the piece of cardstock that goes in under here is 4 inches by 2.5. So you could make a whole bunch of the card bases, and then all you would need to do is stamp your greeting and for whatever occasion you want to stamp it, and then, you know, and slide this in here. So I did go ahead, as I say, we were using the little piggy set, and this was colored in with my blends. Here's my snail. And then we're just going to slide this into position, and our card is ready to go. So super fast, super easy, but as I say, just a couple of tips to, you know, to make this, really to make this work. I have a couple of other samples to show you. So this one is using the Picture Perfect set, and I actually stamped the wood door on the wood textures paper. And it says, "Today we celebrate wonderful, brilliant, fabulous you." And slide it to the other side. "Happy birthday." And then of course you can, you know, you've got the greeting inside. Another one of my favorite stamps that was in the 2018 Occasions catalogue that made it to the annual catalogue. And I'm not normally a birdie person, but I just love the words for this one. This one, we stamped this one, "A little birdie told me it was your birthday." And then you slide to the other side and it says, "Still suspiciously young looking, I see." Definitely one. And then just "Happy birthday" with the birthday greeting inside. Another great card that I wanted to share with you is, this is the framelit. Let me turn it over here so you can see. This is the framelit for cutting out the barn door. It's actually a perfectly proportioned rectangle to the front of a card. So if you take it and use it to cut out a hole in your card, you can then put, I don't know if you can see on here, a piece of a window sheet, and it gives you these great peekaboo cards. So another reason to get this stamp set, because this is a great framelit to have with the rectangle. Another card, again, made with the little piggy, just using a piece of ribbon across here to give the little piggy a girly tutu look. Makes that a really fun card. And then another card here. This is using the texture paste. I have a video coming up using the texture paste, and this is actually the classic label punch. Again, using that wood textures paper and the stitched framelits, which again is one of my go-tos. So thank you again for watching. If you enjoy the video, please share it and give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And subscribe so you don't miss anything anymore. Thank you very much. Happy stamping. So what do you think? Pretty easy, right? If you'd like printable instructions for this, you can go to my blog, JackieRossStamps.com. And of course, if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you don't want to miss any of my videos, please make sure to subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Happy stamping.